Both Molly and Cody were shocked by this General Hospital Spoilers port. Charles had seen its share of secrets, betrayals, and shocking revelations, but nothing could have prepared Molly Lansing Davis and Cody Bell for the truth that was about to turn their lives upside down. It all started on an unusually quiet afternoon. Molly sat at her desk in the district attorney's office, staring at a stack of files she had been trying to ignore for days. A strange case had landed on her desk involving a decades-old trust fund that had suddenly become active after years of inactivity. Normally, such a case would have been routine, but something about the names involved continued to bother her. One name in particular, Bell. At first, she assumed it was merely a coincidence. Bell wasn't exactly a rare surname. But as she dug deeper, more strange connections began to emerge. The trust had been established nearly 30 years ago. The beneficiary's identity had been concealed. And somehow, the paperwork connected several of Port Charles's most powerful families. Molly frowned. Something wasn't right. Meanwhile, Cody Bell was dealing with troubles of his own. Life had finally started stabilizing for him. His relationships with friends and family were improving. And for the first time in years, he felt like he belonged in Port Charles. That feeling didn't last long. A mysterious letter arrived at the Quartermain mansion. No return address, no explanation. Only a single sentence. Ask your mother what happened on the night of the storm. Cody stared at the note. The night of the storm? What storm? He had no idea what it meant, but somehow he knew it mattered. Very much. The following day, Molly received another unexpected surprise. An elderly attorney named Harold Jenkins requested an urgent meeting. The moment he entered her office, she noticed how nervous he looked. His hands shook, his voice trembled, and his eyes carried the weight of a secret he had been holding for decades. "I don't have much time," he said quietly. Molly immediately sensed the gravity of the situation. "What is this about?" The lawyer took a deep breath. "It's about a child." Molly frowned. "What child?" His answer left her speechless. "Cody Bell." Molly's heart skipped a beat. At almost the exact same moment, Cody confronted his mother. The mysterious note had consumed his thoughts for nearly 24 hours. He needed answers. Now. "What happened during the storm?" he demanded. His mother froze. The color drained from her face. For several seconds, she couldn't speak. That reaction told Cody everything. She knew exactly what he was talking about. "Cody!" "No," he interrupted. "I deserve the truth." Tears filled her eyes. "The truth will destroy everything." Back at the courthouse, Molly listened as Harold Jenkins revealed a story that sounded impossible. 30 years earlier, a terrible accident had occurred during a violent storm outside Port Charles. A young woman had gone into labor unexpectedly. Several powerful families became involved. Documents were altered, records disappeared, and a newborn child's identity became the center of a massive cover-up. Molly's pulse raced. Whose child? The attorney swallowed hard. Then he answered, "The child eventually became known as Cody Bell." Across town, Cody's mother finally broke down. The secret she had carried for decades could no longer remain hidden. "Cody, tell me. You were never supposed to know." His entire body tensed. "What does that mean?" The words that followed changed everything. "You are not who you think you are." Cody stared at her. His mind struggled to process what she had just said. "What?" "You were raised as my son." She paused. "But biologically." Tears streamed down her face. "You belong to another family." The world seemed to stop. For a moment, Cody couldn't breathe. He had spent years searching for belonging, years trying to understand who he was, and now everything he believed about himself was unraveling. Hours later, Molly tracked down Cody. She found him sitting alone by the waterfront. The look on his face immediately worried her. "Cody?" He looked up. She could tell something terrible had happened. Before she could speak again, he asked a question. "Have you ever discovered that your entire life was a lie?" Molly's stomach dropped. The timing couldn't be coincidence. Slowly, she sat beside him. I think we're investigating the same secret. Cody looked confused. What do you mean? Molly explained everything she had learned from the attorney. Every document, every hidden record, every suspicious signature. The more she spoke, the paler Cody became. Finally, he whispered the words neither of them wanted to say aloud. So you're telling me someone switched babies? Molly nodded slowly. The possibility was terrifying, and yet every piece of evidence pointed in the same direction. A baby switch. A decades-long cover-up. A conspiracy involving some of Port Charles's most influential people. The next few days became a race against time. Together, Molly and Cody searched for answers. Old hospital records, birth certificates, witness statements, financial transactions. Each clue brought them closer to the truth, and each clue revealed something even more disturbing. Someone was actively trying to stop them. Important files vanished. Witnesses suddenly refused to cooperate. Phone calls went unanswered. Someone clearly feared what they might discover. Then came the breakthrough. A hidden storage box containing original hospital records. Records that had somehow escaped destruction. Molly carefully opened the box. Inside were photographs, medical reports, and handwritten notes. One photograph immediately caught her attention. A newborn baby wrapped in a blanket. The date matched Cody's birth. Attached to the photograph was a name neither of them expected. Molly's eyes widened. Cody grabbed the document. The moment he read it, he nearly dropped it. No! Molly looked equally stunned. This can't be real. But it was. Every piece of evidence confirmed the same unbelievable conclusion. The family Cody believed was his biological family wasn't connected to him at all. His true parentage traced back to one of Port Charles's most powerful bloodlines. A family whose influence stretched across generations. A family whose secrets had shaped countless lives. The revelation hit Cody like a freight train. Everything suddenly made sense. The strange coincidences. The unexplained connections. The feeling that he never quite fit into the story he had been told. Now he understood why. Because it wasn't his story, it belonged to someone else. And someone else had been living his life. Molly wasn't spared from the shock either. As she reviewed the remaining records, she discovered another shocking detail. The cover-up hadn't only affected Cody. Her own family had been connected. Certain signatures belonged to people she trusted. People she loved. People who had knowingly participated in the deception. Her hands shook. No. The realization hurt more than she expected. The betrayal wasn't coming from strangers. It was coming from family. When the truth finally exploded across Port Charles, the fallout was immediate. Relationships shattered. Old wounds reopened. Friendships crumbled. Several prominent citizens found themselves forced to answer difficult questions. Why had the truth been hidden? Who benefited? And most importantly, who had ordered the cover-up? Those questions led Molly and Cody toward an even darker mystery. Because the baby switch wasn't the beginning. It was only the symptom. Behind it lurked a much larger conspiracy involving money, power, and control. A conspiracy that had remained hidden for 30 years. And someone was willing to do anything to keep it buried. One night, while reviewing evidence alone, Molly received a chilling warning. A message appeared on her phone. Stop digging. Her blood ran cold. A second message arrived moments later. Next time won't be a warning. Meanwhile, Cody found himself being followed. At first, he thought he was imagining things. Then he noticed the same black vehicle appearing everywhere. The Metro Court, the stables, the Quartermain mansion. Someone was watching him. Someone who clearly wanted him scared. Instead of backing down, Cody became more determined. If powerful people were frightened enough to threaten him, then he must be getting close to the truth. Very close. The climax arrived during a charity gala attended by Port Charles's elite. Molly and Cody had finally gathered enough evidence to expose the conspiracy publicly. What happened next stunned everyone. As Molly prepared to reveal the documents, an unexpected figure stepped forward. A person nobody suspected. A person who had secretly orchestrated the cover up from the beginning. Gasps echoed throughout the ballroom. The confession was devastating. Years of lies, years of manipulation, years of stolen identities. Everything finally came into the light. For Cody, the truth was painful but liberating. He finally understood who he was, where he came from, and why his life had unfolded the way it had. For Molly, the experience changed her forever. She had always believed justice was simple: find the facts, follow the law, punish the guilty. But this case taught her something far more complicated. Sometimes the truth hurts everyone involved, even the innocent. As dawn broke over Port Charles the following morning, both Molly and Cody stood on the waterfront once again. The city looked the same, but their lives had changed forever. "What happens now?" Cody asked. Molly smiled faintly. "Now we figure out who we're supposed to be." For the first time in weeks, Cody felt hopeful. The truth had shocked them, broken them, tested them, but it had also given them something priceless: a chance to start over. And in Port Charles, a fresh start can be the most dangerous adventure of all, because every answer creates new questions. Every secret uncovers another secret, and every ending is really just the beginning of the next shocking chapter.